So much for my media career. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Twite. I'm part of the Tacora Resources team. My day job, I do environmental and government things, land things. This is a bit of a hobby for me. So first, I'd like to, number one, welcome everyone to this meeting, and I sure appreciate the turnout tonight. It's an amazing day for Tacora. It's a great day for Lab West, and it's a great opportunity for everyone in this room. So thank you all for coming out. I want to cover a couple of housekeeping items. Number one, exits. If for some reason we need to leave, there's exits on the sides, about 2 doors up, and also the 2 exits in the back. First thing I want to do is introduce the leadership within Tacora. We're a small organization right now. We're soon to be growing rapidly, and many of you are going to be part of that team. So first of all, Larry Lettinen, our Chief Executive Officer, Chairman of the Board. Matt Lettinen, a little further up on the side, is our President and Chief Operating Officer. Joe Broking, down here in the sport coat, is our Chief Financial Officer. And then really the face of Tacora Resources in Lab West is Bob Gagne, our VP and General Manager of Scully Mine. So we started this little venture about 2 years ago. It was really, I think, November 2016 when people from Tacora made the first trip up here. And that was discussed a lot earlier today. I won't dwell on that. So it's been a two-year adventure for us thus far. As Larry mentioned this morning, the first thing we had to do was get a customer. And we did that with Cargill. They've been partners with Tacora. They've agreed to purchase 100% of the plant's production through 2033. It's a pretty good deal. So you need to have a customer, otherwise. And the next critical piece we said was we need a partnership with steel workers. Right? And so we started on that work in January 2017. Had not bought the place yet. That didn't happen until the summer of 2017. But in January 2017, Matt and I and a couple other people on the team were in meeting with steel workers at District 6, their leadership, to work out a new collective bargaining agreement. So that's been very important, and that was really a key decision in acquiring this site, was to make sure we had that partnership developed. One of the gentlemen that we met in that negotiation process, I'd like to introduce, Lawrence McKay, who is the Atlantic Coordinator for District 6 with the United Steelworkers. Lawrence, come on up.
Thanks, Mike. I won't be any more than 45 minutes or so. I'll try to keep it brief. Now, in all seriousness, Mike's absolutely right. We were contacted by Tacora 2017, January, February, March. We worked out a collective agreement. 3 words that are on this sign that I think are the best 3 words I've seen in my life. Scully Mine restart. We've been waiting a long time for this. And I want to thank Matt and his team for taking the time, recognizing the opportunity, and bringing life back to this community. Not only restarting the mine here, we're restarting the community, and that's the most important thing. We were able to get a new collective agreement, and then it was just hurry up and wait. And I'll tell you, I never lost faith. When we met with Matt and Mike and his team in Toronto to negotiate a contract, you could tell at the time that they were serious about wanting to operate. And somebody said Matt was like a kid with a new toy. He just wanted to go, 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 go. And really appreciate the negotiations that we went through. It's not always easy, but I think we both came to a position on it where it's going to benefit steelworker members, it's going to benefit the company, and make this company productive going forward and profitable. That's one of the most important things. So that being said, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I know there's a presentation that everybody wants to see. I think I'm supposed to turn it over to Matt right now. Thank you.
Who's ready to blast some rock at that mine again? I know our entire team is extremely excited to do that and start feeding that ore to the crusher here very soon. So good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. As Lauren said, my name is Matt Lettinen with Takora. We're grateful for this opportunity that's in front of us. Last time that people had this opportunity was 1965 to start a mine fresh, to start it with a brand new organization, and to give ourselves an opportunity to create something basically from nothing right now. So we're grateful for that opportunity. We're very excited. There's two things I want to share. I'm going to turn it over to Bob. Two things I want you to take away. One, who we are as a company, who we are as an organization, our culture, what we're looking for. And number two, what we're doing differently. And why is this second Scully Mine 2.0 going to be extremely successful? So that's what I'm going to cover here today. Mike? We'll skip past the pictures. I think everybody's pretty familiar with the mine. But some recent aerial pictures from Scully, taken 2 months ago. Yep. All right. So, who's this Takora? How do they know what they're doing? This mine shut down once. Everyone thought it was out of ore. How are they going to make this successful? Well, first and foremost, I want everyone to understand that at our core, Takora, we are miners. It's in our blood. It's who we are. In my case in point, my old man's been mining iron ore for 45 years. My grandfather mined iron ore in Minnesota. He actually worked alongside many people that helped build the Scully Mine and build Carroll Lake. Even going back further, my great-great-grandfather, who immigrated to the U.S. from Finland, worked in the underground mines and was blacklisted by the companies for trying to organize labor. So, first and foremost, we're miners. We know what we're doing. And when we saw the potential at the Scully Mine, it was obvious to us that this mine should be operating and this mine should be producing. So, we made a lot of important decisions early on. The first decision that we made is we decided not to buy the pellet plant. So, for the life of this mine, in our opinion, the mine has been bottlenecked by the systems at Point Noir. We know pellet plants, we've built pellet plants, we've operated pellet plants. The best use of the mine was for it to produce concentrate, a high-quality concentrate that is in extremely high demand globally right now. So that was first and foremost the decision we made. Number two, we are going to carry forward with an initiative that was started by Cliffs going back to 2009. They improved, expanded it again in 2011, and we're going to retrofit the mill, the concentrator, with 100% manganese reduction capability. So whereas historically this mine had challenges in the West Pit extension going really deep, lots of water, by comparison now, with the manganese reduction installed, our first ore is going to be way up on the hill, hauling downhill. And there's lots and lots of ore. We have 26 years of mine life. That doesn't include stockpiles, that doesn't include some additional drilling. So as we think about this mine, we think about it for another 30, 40, dare I say 50, but a long time. There's lots of ore in the area. And what does that do to the mine? It makes the mining cost lower. Like I said, our first ore is going to be a downhill haul. We also, as Lawrence touched on, we have a brand new structure for our team members. We'll talk about that more as people get further along in the hiring process, but that was critical. We talked about a customer. And then the third thing that was a challenge for Scully Mine, Wabush Mines was the logistics. So traditionally this mine produced ore that was sent inland to the US and to Canada or sent to Europe. We're taking advantage of hundreds of millions of dollars of infrastructure that's been invested at Sept-Îles in the new deep water docks. So we're going to be able to load large ships that can carry the ore efficiently from right here in Labrador and Quebec to customers all over the world via Cargill. So this is our transformation on how we're going to operate this mine and what's the fundamental basis for the sustainability to keep this mine operating for many decades to come. So when we talk about sustainability, it has to be profitable. But you also have to be a good corporate neighbor. In addition to being miners ourselves, most of us hail from an area just like this in northern Minnesota. It's a rich mining tradition, it's a rich mining area, small towns, small communities, that's where we are all from. So we understand, and because we live it, what it's like to live here in Labrador West. And we understand the importance of having, being a good mine, a good neighbor. So when it comes to dust control, when it comes to supporting the communities around us, and most importantly, when it comes to safety of our employees. And that leads me to our 3 core values. Number 1 is safety. You know, a mine's a dangerous place. You have equipment in a mine that can crush a man flat, tear his body apart. And I have young children. When I think about that, I think about what it would be like going home if it were me that were in a terrible accident in a mine. Now, I'm fortunate. I've never had to make that phone call for a tragedy like that, and we're certainly not going to let that start here at Takora. So safety is number 1, our core value. What does that mean? It means a few things. First and foremost, proper investment into the plant. The Scully Mine is in great shape in terms of guarding and the physical barriers and physical systems to protect our team members. Number 2, having the right incentives in place for all of our team members to keep each other safe. And number 3, having a culture and an organization where we truly care about each other and work collectively as a team. Which is why number 2, our second core value is teamwork. That should be self-explanatory. I think we all, deep down, want to work on a team. We all want to work in an organization where each of us is valued, where we feel like all of our contributions are making a difference. And that is the culture and the organization that we will create here at the Scully Mine. And number 3, is winning. I know it's not maybe a politically correct or traditional set of core values, and these core values were not drafted up by somebody sitting at a desk in a big corporate office somewhere, but we want to win. And the reason we want to win is because we want this mine to be running for the next 30, 40, 50 years. And unless we win and come to work every day wanting to win, we're not going to be successful in doing that. So what does winning really mean? I'm a big Packers fan. So when my Packers are playing the Patriots, I know who won by the score at the end of the game. But for us in mining here, there's 3 things that we're going to look to as scoreboards to make sure that we're winning. Number 1, we want to be the safest mine in the Labrador Trough. It's pretty easy to measure that. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. That's how we're going to win as it pertains to safety. Number 2, very important. We want to be and will be the lowest cost mine in the Labrador Trough. And number 4, we need to produce a high quality product. Why is that important? Well, when you compare other mines globally, mines in Australia, mines in Brazil, the mines here in Canada can never compete on a cost basis with those mines. They can get ore to China, they can get ore to places much cheaper because they're digging it out of the ground, they're shipping it, they're very close to their customers. So for us here in Lab West to be successful, to be sustainable, we have to have a low cost structure. We have to continue to produce a very high quality product, which we will. The Scully Mine concentrate is arguably the highest quality center feed in the world. And most importantly, we're going to win. And we're going to do it and win every day. So on that point, it's easy to talk about winning, but to actually win takes hard work, it takes creativity. And it takes a team. And every good team has people with different roles contributing in different ways. And that's what we're going to create here at the Scully Mine. So, what is the Takora way? What does this mean compared to, let's say, my grandfather's mine? Or you pick the mine. Well, number 1, not my job. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to hop in and operate the shovel, because I would be a terrible shovel operator, I guarantee you. But what that does mean is no one's above a job. When we're having a maintenance outage, if I need to pick up a hose and this actually happened, not saying it's going to happen a lot, or whoever, nobody's above a job. Doesn't mean we're going to put people in jobs they're not qualified for, but it doesn't mean no one is above a job. Which means you simplify down the organization and you increase the strength of the team. Us versus them. What does that mean? I know I've worked at companies where I didn't like my boss, I didn't like other people in the organization. That's not a pleasant experience when you're going to work every day. And it's something that we focus on in how we build our team, in how we implement our structure, how we pay people, and what we do together. We don't have multiple Christmas parties. We have one Christmas party per year, and everybody comes. I don't care if you're working on the pit, if you're working in the office, you're working in the lab, millwright, we're all going to the same Christmas party. That's just one example of how we keep the team strong and how we avoid this us versus them mentality. Okay, if I'm working at IOC, how do I make more money? I try to maximize my overtime, right? Well, that's not the case at Takora. The more success we have, the more that we win, the more all of us are going to make. All of us. Everyone in the organization. We're going to have a pay structure that's stable, that's transparent, but the more we win, all of us together will make more money. It's not a function of how much overtime we're working. So, as we look at what do we, how we summarize that? Larry's, in his 45-year career, has developed a term that we is near and dear to us, and it's high-performance work systems. And that, if I could summarize everything I'm saying down, the core values of safety, teamwork, and winning, it's all about creating and maintaining and sustaining a high-performance work system at the Scully Mine. So I guarantee you, our entire team, whether we're in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, or a team here in Labrador West, we'll be doing everything under our control to make sure when you're coming home from a night shift or you're coming home from dinner and you're talking to your sweetie and asking about how your day was, it's going to be, darling, my day was great. I love my crew, we're winning, best job I've ever had. And I can promise you, I promise we will be doing everything in our control. Now it's a two-way street. We need all of our team members to come to work and want to make that a reality every day. And when we bring people in that hold that dear just like we do, it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be awesome. I do want to, before I turn over to Bob, is Eddie, Tony, and Kevin in the crowd? Any of them? No?
Still working.
Still working.
All right, well, they're fired. I want to, they're not here. You guys, you all probably know them well. They did an incredible job when I know some of the things that they did to try to preserve this mine and make sure that it was in a position where someone could acquire it. Making sure that the snow was removed, without having proper equipment to do it, so that any vandals on the snow machines would stay out. Things like that. Making sure that nothing broke, no leaks in the roof, so that the structure was impacted. They did an unbelievable job, and when you see them, pat them on the back for a job well done to keep this mine in great shape, so that as we're implementing our projects to get it back up and running, there was nothing fundamentally wrong with this. So I really am appreciative of those three guys. The next speaker, I'm very proud to say that he's on our team. At Takora, we did a global search for our general manager, and we brought in the biggest hot shots from big mines in Australia, South Africa, South America, and we're like, all right, these guys are impressive. Well, we ended up selecting a local boy named Bob Gagne, and not because he's local, but because he won. He was the winner of that process, and I know Bob is very humbled and has a lot of respect for the responsibility that he's now in charge of, and we're very proud to have him on our team. So I'll turn it over to Bob Gagne.
Thank you, Matt.
appreciate the intro. I'm going to come clean first. So the reason the three lads aren't here is I told them they could start their celebration early. Look, they put a lot of time and effort in. There was a lot of naysayers, and they put up with a lot over the last 5 years. But certainly, as Minister Leto mentioned earlier today, extremely grateful for what they did to give us this opportunity. If not for that, we may not be here today. So Matt's absolutely correct. You see them out, show them a bit of love. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. All right, so the three things I'm going to talk about are basically high level our schedule. I'm going to discuss the application process. So I see a few people here with resumes this evening. We won't be collecting any resumes, but I will be very clear and specific on how you can apply and how that process works. And in the third piece, we also have some suppliers and vendors here, and I'm sure many of you are interested in about how you go through the process and what types of business opportunities are out there. So the first slide behind me is in terms of our overview, high-level schedule again. Up to this point has been financing. So again, very grateful to the Takora team. Look, it's not easy in a market that's up and down, and those of us know that living here in the area. When you're trying to get people to invest in an operation, well, they want to be confident that they're going to get a return on their investment. When cycles go low, you need to demonstrate that you can still make money. And that's essentially what our model is going to be all about, what it is all about. And based on the theme that Matt had just presented to everybody, I'll talk a little more about that in the next slides. So thankfully today we made the official announcement that we are fully funded and we're going to start this baby up. We do have some projects that already started, which some of you may have heard about. Some people here are actually working on some of these projects. So the manganese reduction installation has started, concentrator, some upgrades, construction of the additional load-up bin. So we're actually had 4 concrete pours already. Not easily done, obviously, this time of year, but it can be done. So again, a demonstration of our capability, our experience and expertise. We are going to be doing some work in the first quarter of next year down the loading facility. We've got some conveyors to install to give us access to the deep port. Concentrator commissioning and resume mining, so 2 of my favorite ones there, obviously. So we're looking to get dirt out in June. And I'm sure some of you are sitting here saying, really? Seems like a bit much, a bit aggressive. Has to be aggressive. If we don't set targets for ourselves that don't challenge us, we won't get better. We won't improve. The reality is our startup plan is quite achievable. One of the best plans I've seen going forward, and I've been involved in this for a number of years, so I'm quite confident in the plan as well. And of course, then we'll be ramping up. So we'll start June of next year, and then we'll ramp up to 6 million tons a year. Go ahead. So staffing opportunities in Lab West. Work where you live. So there's obviously been a question, have been questions, and will it be FIFO? The answer is no. In order to invest in a community and do our part, we recognize that the people working at our site need to live in a community. And the benefit of that, of course, is that you're involved in the community. And there lie the extra benefits. So, when these towns started, the mine started, most of our grandparents, parents, relatives came up for a few months a year to make a bit of money, that was it, and ended up settling down. And if you talk to them, it was the best decision they ever made. So we want to do the same thing. We want to bring people home. We want to give people the opportunity to stay home. But certainly will not be endorsing, come here, get a paycheck, and see you in 2 weeks. So as you can see, we've already started recruiting some of the key positions, some of my direct reports in terms of HR resource manager, chief mine engineer, health and safety, environmental manager, and controller. So you would have seen some of these postings, you're wondering, really, are they serious? Why are they putting sites out there? Well, we were serious. So now you'll see a lot more tonight and tomorrow, once I give you the website, and right now we've got about 38 different opportunities listed. So we're looking at approximately 280 people per team. You've heard today, you've heard 250, you've heard 280, 270. Again, approximately. Again, from Lab West. Although there is no recall, we absolutely encourage all past employees to obviously apply. You've got the experience, you know the operation, and it makes it much easier for us when we're starting to restart, when we have people that know what they're doing. All right? We do have an agreement in place, obviously, with the USW, which we talked about, and just some key points, and I won't be talking about that in any detail tonight. When the time comes, we will share with the employees. So it is an agreement based on competitive compensation, hiring best applicants based on skill and experience, and fit. Incentive-based pay system, as Matt had referred to. Defined contribution retirement plan, 5% of base wages. And again, the supplemental health care, which is typical of most programs here in the region. So here's the key slide that everyone's really interested in. So I'll make it easy for you. You can go on to Cora Resources on our website. You don't have to write that down. I'm sure you can all remember that. And we'll have a link to this, okay? So the link that will bring you to will be the recruit.ca at Tacora. Also on our site, we'll have the information listed below in terms of the email and the phone number. So if you have some questions, we do have someone from KBRS there to answer your questions. If they don't, they'll reach out to me and they'll get you your answers, okay? So this is probably, for most of you, the most important thing that you want to remember tonight. All right? Now, in terms of the hiring process, once you apply, and the reason I asked people or said to people that we wouldn't be taking resumes, it's an online application. So you'll be directed to the position that you're going to apply for. You're going to fill out your information. We can't do that for you, okay? So we've already had a couple of resumes dropped off at security gate, emailed to us individually. We can't apply for you. So I'm asking everyone to not do that because it'll just get lost in the system. Some of you who may have applied previously on Tacora's site or sent something, I'm asking you to reapply. This is the only place to apply. Okay? It will be managed, it's in the database, we got access, none of them get lost, they're there forever. And then we can start our process. Okay, so obviously there'll be some cutoff times there. It's not going to be the next week, but you'll see all these things. So once we have our resumes in place and we've met our dates and we want to start hiring employees, the first stage that we're going to go through is put the applicants through an online assessment. Again, nothing atypical of other businesses and operations, but just to look in terms of a fit for our mine site. So safety as a value, teamwork as a value, and just to see where you are on that gauge. Now, we assume obviously that everyone's going to do quite well on that, and that moves you into the second phase. So the second phase again is some online evaluation, and that's basically to surmise if you're the right fit for the right role. So through my years, I can tell you the saddest thing one of the saddest things I've ever seen is somebody working at a job that they just don't want to be doing. So the good news here is that we're starting fresh. Everybody here has an opportunity to apply for a job with Tacora Resources, and that's fantastic. So we encourage that, and we're pretty excited about it. That said, I'm not forcing anyone to apply to do a job that they don't want to do. And I can't be any plainer than that. If you don't enjoy doing what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. That's the harsh reality. I wouldn't do what I do. People ask me, excuse me, all the time. I love doing what I do. I think it's great. But it's not about just getting a job for a paycheck. If that's what it is, and to be quite frank and honest, you're just not a fit for us. That's not how we think, because everything I do on the job site, everything my team does, impacts everybody there. And that's the way we need to think. We need to understand, when we talk about teamwork, that my lack of performance or initiative or wanting to be there has an impact on everybody else. So we, again, really want people who want to be at work and enjoy and love doing what they do. And you'll find when the person to your left and the person to your right have that same attitude, fantastic day. Can't wait to get up in the morning. Can't wait to get in there. Can't wait to go to work. That's what we're going to build. So of course, once we get through that, obviously there's drug and alcohol testing, and there's also physical demands testing. So again, standard testing, nothing different than we have seen anywhere else. And Decorah does require, obviously, as most businesses do, a drug and alcohol-free workplace. So this is a key piece here. All of our roles are safety-sensitive positions. We're on a mine site, right? We're not working at the beach, digging up sand, making sandcastles. We're on a mine site. If you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing the wrong thing incorrectly, it could mean fatality to you or someone else, or serious injury. So our starting point is everything we do, everybody on site, it is a safety-sensitive position. Okay? So staffing, team-based approach. That is my job. So as Matt had talked about previously again, we need a team that can do everything. So obviously something you're qualified to do and something you can do safely. I'll use the example. So a lot of people here hunt and fish. And if you're going to get a group of guys and gals to go down and do some caribou hunting, or you're going down middle of winter, 2 weeks, got to get your machines ready, get your rifles, get your food. You're likely going to go with people that you know are going to pull their weight. Machines break down, something happens, go through the ice. You want people that you can count on and you can depend on. And this is essentially the same thing that we're trying to build. We want people that we can count on, and we want people to be able to count on us as well. So you've got many examples of good teams. Again, it's people you trust, it's people you want to be around, it's people you want to work hard for. And that's essentially what we're trying to achieve here. Our business, our core business, is operations. We mine, we process, get it aboard a train, and it goes off to be sold. So everything that we do should help facilitate that or improve that process. It's core business. Now, we will have some entry-level positions, obviously. We want to give opportunities to new people as well. But the way our system works is that the more that you're qualified to do and trained on and can do, the better you'll be compensated for it. Seems like a fair system to me. Some will choose to contribute and at certain levels because that's where they're comfortable, and they will get compensated for that. The reality is, again, we're going to encourage as many people as possible. We're not talking a big group here. Again, we're talking about 280 employees. The more that we can do, the better we will be at what we do. So when you go on the job site, you will see a distribution of the different jobs out there. So don't get too caught up in this slide. Again, the point of this is we want people to multitask, be multi-skilled. That's what can separate us from the competition. That's what can keep us competitive. That's what keeps us as the lowest cost producer. Again, on staffing, one team, how can I help? Again, this is a two-way street. This is, as Matt said, we have a breakdown or we have service day, and someone has to pick up a hose to help clean up that equipment before we can work on it. Absolutely. There are no silos. If there's a silos, well then right away, if I don't have to do something, well, why doesn't Bob have to do it? That doesn't make sense. It's unfair. So we're trying to make a fair system where everyone is treated the same. So again, some of the other positions here: admin assistants, engineers, technologists, supervisors, process control technicians, planners, HSE advisors, HR, warehouse, IT, purchasing, lab technicians. This is not everything. You'll see some more jobs out there. Again, we're trying to work with the slides and make sure we could get as much information, big enough fonts for everyone to see. But there are 38 positions listed at this time. So, we can come back to the hiring after if there's some questions. Right now I'm going to jump into the procurement piece. So again, we're looking at developing long-term relationships which maximize value for both Decor and our suppliers. What happened here in the area over the last 10, 15 years was comparable at times to the NASA syndrome, some of you would have heard. So NASA getting charged $700, $1,000 a screwdriver because they're NASA and they have lots and lots of money. And that's kind of what transpired here in the area with a lot of the businesses, that it was supply and demand. And as there was opportunity for potential growth, new organizations coming in, expansions in the area, again it was, well, I've only got one or two of these, what do you want to pay for it? So we're asking everyone that we work with to think long term. It's not a get rich quick scheme. We're interested in long term partnerships with all vendors and contractors and suppliers in the area. All right, we need people to work with us, not for us. And when we have that relationship, again, coming back to teamwork, that will ensure and maintain our competitiveness. So I've talked about, obviously, cost minimization. So I told the team when I first got the site that we were doing things a little differently. We were safe first and foremost, and cheap. And the reality is, again, and I'm going to keep talking about that, it is all about being lowest cost producer. Some of us in the room obviously have been there. We've seen the downturn. We were impacted because of it. There was a downturn in the 80s. There was a downturn in the 90s. I was laid off in 90. And again, the reason was that we were producing at a cost too high and basically paying people to take our product. So you can't pay people to take your product. It's not a good business plan. It doesn't work. So we will be low enough so that in a downturn, we're still making money. Okay? Let's just talk about it. So we've got, again, in terms of price won't be obviously, lowest cost is best with the but. Obviously the service has to be there. So it can't be just I'm cheapest and we didn't get delivery of our product, we didn't get the quality that we wanted, that doesn't work. So obviously we're looking at a whole bunch of issues, but first and foremost, it's competitive. Go ahead. So business opportunities, again, I won't go through all of these, but you can see these again are some of the opportunities for local businesses and businesses within the province to do work with Decor. So we'll see vehicle maintenance, consulting, cranes, electrical equipment and service, geotechnical work, janitorial, laboratory services, landscaping, mobile equipment parts and service, scaffolding, surveying, training, rail services. It's quite a broad range there. And again, coming back to core business, we're going to have a majority of people that are really good at moving dirt and processing dirt. We're not going to build expertise of one or two people in certain areas that are really good at doing a certain thing. It's just too hard to maintain. It's costly. It doesn't work. Those people go away or go somewhere else, and then you're without that service again. It puts a business at risk. So we're going to look at other groups out there that have that expertise to come and help us with that. Pre-qualification process. So again, some of the key parameters we'll be looking at obviously are safety, health and environmental procedures and records. Previous experience performing projects in similar nature, so anyone that's been working in the mining industry in this area, obviously quite familiar with what you do, and here's an opportunity to come and do it for us. Timely performance, continuity of supply, quality of product, management structure, including self-identification within applicable designated groups. So we obviously encourage all service providers, anybody who has designated or self-designated and has partnerships with the Aboriginal groups, and we certainly encourage that. Obviously looking at your financial capacity, ability to be bonded and obviously have insurance, and your quality management systems. Just go back one. So again, this form on the left-hand side here is on our website. So all this information I went through the procurement is on the website. Again, I'm encouraging all service providers to pre-qualify. So fill this form out, get it into us, get the information, give us all your information, and then you're good to go. It just it makes it easier for us. We'll get you set up as a vendor, and we can start, if we determine that it's a good opportunity for us to do business together, then we'll have you set up as a vendor. Okay, so I think I might have lost some of the crowd there, except for the suppliers and vendors here in the last part. Again, most of us were here to understand how we can become a team member with the Takora. We're certainly appreciative of the turnout, and very excited about interest. I know I was asked a few weeks back about my confidence of getting our workforce in Lab West, and I didn't hesitate at all, didn't flinch. I'm extremely confident that our workforce is 100% here. So I guess if nobody else has anything, I'm going to open up the floor to some questions that hopefully I can answer. I think we have a mic over here on the side. All right, so there's a mic on the right-hand side here, and there's one over on the left-hand side. Yeah, who's getting up, right? First one in the crowd. What if I said you moved up in the process quickly? Look, again, for everyone's information, we've got the key information on our website. Simply, if you walk out of here with two things, one is, again, how to apply at the Takora website, and two, is that these guys are going to do business differently, right? It's a team-based approach. It is my obligation as general manager of this operation to ensure that we do get the 26, 30, 40, 50 years. I would not take on an endeavor, being a local boy, to build up hopes and get people to make investments in something that's going to fail in 6 months' time to a year. So I want people on my team to think the same way as me. This is not about a job for Bob Gagné. It's about doing something good for the community. It's about restarting an awesome, awesome mine that should be selling their product out on the world market. So if you think that way, please apply. So there's no questions. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Oh, I'm sorry.
I did have a question, Bob.
Yes, sir.
During the presentation, I didn't hear nothing about the movement of the ore from the area to Point Noir, Setil, wherever they're selling now to ocean-going carriers.
Yeah, so you would have seen...
But I did pick up in the vendors.
Yes.
Talked about rail services. Will the movement of the ore be done by a vendor, and I'll use an example as Genesee Wyoming Railway or Western Labrador Rail Services, to move the ore out of Labrador West off the Wabush site?
So yes, ore transportation will be done by a group working for Tacora. There will not be, again, it's not considered a core activity for us.
Okay, I just wanted to get that clarified, so it won't be an equivalent to the Wabush Lake Railway
No, sir.
that Tacora will take care of. Okay,
Nope.
thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions, folks?
How are you enjoying your work? Or are you enjoying your work?
We are drying our ore, same process. We're actually, one of the things I didn't list there was that we've actually started, are starting in a couple of weeks' time, dryer rebuild on number 2.
Second question, Bob.
Yep.
Come to mind now. You talked about the load-out facility. I know there are 5 bins in that load-out facility from the Wabush mine site, so we've added, or you guys have added a 6th one. Is that correct in saying that?
We'll be adding 2 more, actually.
2 more, 7.
So the intent is to go to longer train lines to 168 or 64, Joe?
So you're going from the 124 car trains up to 168? Is
Correct.
How many trains per 24-hour period do you anticipate?
Okay, we'll get into the immediate production numbers. We're going to start off with 2 train lines.
Okay.
Again, we're going to ramp up. So at the beginning, first quarter, certainly it's going to be with 2 train lines.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
No problem.
What size haul trucks you're going to use now?
Pardon me?
What size haul trucks you're going to use?
So we're going with 830Es.
Oh, okay.
Komatsu.
So we've got.
Bob, you want to repeat the question?
Pardon me?
Why don't you repeat the question?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. So I was asked what kind of excavators we have. So I'm going to ask someone from the team because I'm going to get it wrong. I'm used to that. Just seriously. So I think there are 5,500 hydraulic excavators, 1 diesel, 2 electric, I think. Joe, yes, no? 1 electric, 2 diesel. 1 electric, 2 diesel, okay. It's close. So again, one of those was rebuilt before the site was shut down. We do have, we have been talking to people to get the second one up and running quickly as well. So, look, we've already been, had the equipment assessed, so we're not waiting for now and saying, I wonder if we can restart it and what needs to be done on it. So we've got a good handle on that, and we're confident that we'll have the mine equipment. Otherwise, we would have gone and bought new excavators or shovels.
How quick will the hiring process be? We want to get up to production in June, so January, are you going to start bringing people in?
But right now, we're talking about sometime in the first quarter towards the end. Again. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I should give people these mic. All right. So I believe the question was, how soon do we anticipate hiring people and bringing them on site? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So right now, obviously, I'm focused on my immediate team, HR manager, some of the key roles to help facilitate some of the hiring process. Getting to all the roles will likely happen in March. Again, we'll start. We won't have everybody in March, but we'll start ramping up from March. Is there someone at the mic? Oh, sorry.
The core of your employees, are they going to be operations? And how many maintenance are going to be included in that 280 employees?
I don't have a breakdown, but there's operations and maintenance employees, yes.
Okay, but what I want to know is, what is the core? Is it operations? Your core
Our core
employees?
business is operations, but part of your core business, again, is maintaining your equipment as well.
So you haven't got a percentage, say 70-30 or anything, or 60-40? You don't know?
It's about a 70-30 split.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're looking at 30% maintenance and whatnot.
It's
If there is an overrun in your maintenance program,
Yeah.
will you be contracting out
Look,
your maintenance?
we are not.
As regard to rebuild of your vital components to your crushers, to your belts, like gearboxes, fluid drives, and stuff like that. is that gonna be contracted out
So-
or done in-house?
So we're not gonna, one of the lessons learned through the years for myself as well is that you don't carry for peak maintenance. So we will not carry 100 people extra or 50 people extra to do major overhauls, no liner changes, major belt changes. So the answer is no. At this stage, we're not planning on doing that ourselves. No, we won't carry the manpower for that.
Okay, being experienced in that, is that, as I see it, where I worked previous to this, is that a lot of overrun as regards to cost to your components, like fluid drives and gearboxes and such, that were actually contracted out, that could have been done a lot more cheaply in-house, but never was.
Look, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm sure you've got some good examples, and I also have some good examples where we had our own shop at other sites, and guess what? The same was true that didn't work out the same. Again, we want to be really good at doing certain things. So I don't want to become an expert at rebuilding gearboxes. One of the things that the impacted the mines here in the area years ago was that we had to do everything ourselves because the services weren't here. I'm happy to say that service providers here in town have really, really stepped up their game. So they've brought the people in, they've brought the expertise in, they've invested in the area, they live in the area, and they're prepared to do this work for us. So again, I'm happy, and again, those are some of those opportunities, so we will avail of that. And again, it's no different for anybody. If it's not a good product, it's not a good quality, we'll change our plan, we'll go somewhere else or do something else. Sorry, go ahead.
Hi there, Bob. I live here in Labrador West, and I'm currently studying at the college. I'm doing electrical. And come June, I will be one of many electricians, welders, millwrights, and office administrators looking to enter the workforce, preferably here in Labrador West. Just wondering what opportunities we can expect from Takora.
Obviously, we're going to have a mixed workforce in terms of junior persons and apprentices. You got to think about the future. So there will be opportunities for apprentices. Keeping in mind, obviously, that we've got to maintain our ratios. So I can't have all apprentices, otherwise you can't do the work. So again, typical 1-to-1 ratio or 2-to-1 in some cases, but there will be opportunities there for apprentices, absolutely. Yes?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm just wondering now about the hiring process. I've been self-employed for 20 years at a job that I absolutely love, but I'm finding myself now lacking challenge, okay? I would like to try more. I am going to apply to Takora. During the 20 years that I have been self-employed, I've had to deal with, well, human resources, payroll, I know chemicals, hiring, firing, inventory. When I go to apply, should I apply to every single thing that I have experience with, even though I don't have like papers, but...
So I would apply to the position you feel you would like to work in?
I can do all of them.
Well, if you feel absolutely, it's a great
Okay, thank you very much.
I won't restrict your opportunities. Thank you. Yes.
When do you expect the first blast?
Joe.
March. March, end of March.
March, yeah. The question was when we expect to have the first blast. All right, again, I want to thank everyone for coming. Everyone have a great night.